Hey gang, Four-Eyed Piper, coming at you. Out here enjoying a cool morning. Definitely change in the temperature. I had a couple of really nice days up in the 60s and 70s last week, but it is down into the 30s again. And this morning when I was taking my kids off to where they had to go, we were getting some sleet going on, and my son, he's 4, and we come out of the house, he's like, "Daddy, there's salt crystals everywhere." And I said, "No, they're ice crystals, bud." So he picks them up in his hand and watched them melt. And he's so fascinated by the natural order of things. And I have to stop and appreciate that more. Just his discovery and the discovery that I could probably be making if I just opened my eyes a little bit more every day. And that's kind of what I want to talk about, is just some realizations that I've come to, and a little bit of maybe improvements in my family's situation. First and foremost, I got to do the housekeeping, obviously. I'm smoking my Peterson Molly Malone. Look at the sandblast on that. Just look at that grain. It's got a silver band that I need to polish up a little bit. It's a little tarnished, but I really like the stem on this too. It's fishtail, non-filtered. In it today, I'm trying a sample that I got a long time ago of Samuel Gawith chocolate flake. At least that's what it was labeled. I have never had Sammy G chocolate flake, nor have I seen the tin. But recently, I was on the live stream with Cass Piper Cassidy, and him and I got talking about some of the tobaccos that he likes, and Bob's chocolate flake came up. And I know Unicorn Piper, or Ben, whatever he's calling himself these days, from Canada, he's a big Bob's chocolate flake fan. So I threw some in my pipe the other night, and the sample that I have I have a pretty good amount, probably like 5-10 bowls worth in a jar, and it had been sitting around for a couple years. And when I pulled it out, it was practically white with sugar crystals all over it. And I have to say, it was one of the best smokes I've ever had. So good. It reminds me a lot of Stonehaven. I have some aged Stonehaven that's also very crystallized. But Bob's chocolate flake, I got so much cocoa out of it. So thinking about how tasty that was, I figured, you know what, I better try this Sammy G chocolate flake and see if there's any similarities. But so far, the flavor profile is not anywhere near the Bob's chocolate flake. Very different smoke. Tastes like there's a lot more Virginias in this. But I don't know for sure because I haven't really seen it, or I haven't really looked it up. So if you know more about Samuel Gawith chocolate flake, put it in the bucket, or put it in the comments rather. And you know what? If anyone's sitting on some Bob's chocolate flake, I'd love to get a tin or two. Let me know, and we'll put something together. But anyway, back to the topic. So, I think I'm a lot like a lot of other people in that I have a tough time with change. And I'm about to be 35 years old here in about a month. And if you really think about it, about midway point of your life, and for the last few years, all I've been trying to do is kind of cling on to routine and cling on to security, and establish what I feel like is going to be the norm for my life and my family's life. But as I go and I make mistakes and I learn, I realize that nothing ever stays the same. And the more that you try to cling to that status quo, the more disappointed you're going to be in your life. My wife and I both have really good jobs. I feel very secure with our finances, and I am the person who takes care of the family finances at my house, and I pay all the bills and manage the debt and XYZ. And my wife's current job, she makes good money, and we feel very comfortable to, pay all our bills, do everything we need to do for the family, take care of our kids. Our kids want for nothing. If they want something, they get it basically, as long as they deserve it. And we have extra for the first time in our lives. We have a little surplus that we can squirrel away and think about improving our situation. And so things feel good right now. But a few weeks ago, and I should back up a little bit, my wife, she went to school for history and has a bachelor's in history with a focus on medieval and Celtic studies. And, we've talked a little bit about that on the channel, just how passionate we are about our roots and exploring those. But right now, currently, she's not using her degree in any way. She works in retail. So a few weeks ago, the day that I was going to be speaking with Cass Piper Cassidy, a Northern Irishman, on his live stream, on his Zoom chat, rather, I was talking to my wife about the Celtic conference that we went to a few years ago, and she jumped on Facebook to go take a look at when that was, and some of the context that we had from that. And one of the folks is a Celtic jeweler, metalsmith, who we've been friends with for a long time. He did our wedding bands and all that stuff. And he goes to Ireland frequently, does a lot of research, and produces artwork, as well as practical jewelry, and is phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. If you are interested in checking out his stuff, he is at walkermetalsmiths.com. Just absolutely phenomenal. But because of that interaction I was having with Cass, that led my wife to go on Facebook and do a little research for me so that I would have some things to talk about during the live stream, which we never even talked about. But she saw that they had a job posted. And it's just kind of a kismet moment, It would be a job where she would be helping out in the shop and working with the artisans there, potentially doing some research and helping with that part of the business and that part of his process. And a few years ago, he was fishing for her to come aboard, but we just couldn't financially make it happen. The offering was a bit less than what she's making right now. So, sorry, this is kind of a long story. At that moment, me being here, having a lot of time to contemplate, normally I'm the pragmatic one who, being in charge of family finances, we talk about how we can earn more, get to that next level, maybe sell our house down the road, all those things. But in that moment, I realized that my wife would be so much infinitely happier doing something like that, where she could express her passion and be creative. And we talked about it, and I told her that she just needed to go for it. She needed to go for it. It would be a huge change for our family, huge change in our income. But we're at the stage in our lives where if our needs are met, why shouldn't we be looking at what's going to make us the happiest for the next 30 years of work? And I think she was really surprised that, again, I'm the pragmatic one. I'm the one who clings to normalcy. I'm the one who's very conservative. She was very surprised that I would encourage her to do it, and she went for it, and she got the job. And I'm so excited, and to think about how um, happy she's going to be to wake up and go and do this every day. It brings me so much joy, and I money will come and money will go, but happiness, man, if you can be happy in what you do with work, that's so important. So I just kind of, it was kind of an aha moment for me where I started realizing, like, the calendar pages are flying by, and we really just need to think about what's going to make us the most happy. As long as our needs are met and our kids are good, and they're getting what they need and they're learning and growing, and why shouldn't we be learning and growing too? So that was my moment that I wanted to share with you guys, and just tell you that I finally realized, after working for almost 20 years, that the money piece isn't everything. As long as you are stable, um, people say this all the time, but I just don't take it seriously. Like, you got to find something that you're passionate about doing. But yeah, I feel that way when I go to work. I feel good and I feel energized and challenged. And I just want my wife to feel that way too. And I want her to feel like she's being able to express herself and her passion. So anyway, guys, I hope that my pipe's gone out. I hope that you guys think about that too. And if you're in a position like I am, where things are good, it might give you a little something to think about, something to chew on as you are going through your daily routines and your lives, and figure out if you're really happy with what you're doing for the time that you're away from your family, which happens to be more of your time than anything else. Anyway, let me know about that Bob's chocolate flake, if anybody's got any out there. If you know anything about this Sammy G chocolate flake, put it in the comments, and I'll catch you guys next time. Take care, huh? Gooses, geese. See you guys. Have a good one.